Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. I'm Carla Elizondo. It is a pleasure for you to be here on Friday, the last day of the week. We are on Chapter 17, Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness. Chapter 17, All Things Are Possible. It is of great significance that the truth of the principles outlined in this book have been proven time and again by the personal experiences of the author. Throughout the past 25 years, he has applied these principles and proved them successful in innumerable instances. He attributes to an unwavering assumption of his wish already being fulfilled every success that he has achieved. He was confident that, by these fixed assumptions, his desires were predestined to be fulfilled. Time and again, he assumed the feeling of his wish fulfilled and continued in his assumption until that which he desired was completely realized. Live your life in a sublime spirit of confidence and determination. Disregard appearances, what we see with our eyes on the outside world. Disregard appearances, conditions, in fact, all evidence of your senses. All evidence of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. Rest in the assumption. Remember, rest in the assumption that we want. Remember where our assumptions are. Rest in the assumption that our wish is already fulfilled. Remember? And the past chapter said, rest in the Lord. We learned, where is the Lord? That part, the I am, where our heart is. It's in us. The I am is in us. We are that. We are I am. I am. My Father and I are one, but my Father is greater than I. We have that godlike power. Although we are not God, we have the godlike power. So rest in the Lord. Rest in your assumptions of the wish that you desire, whatever you desire, already being fulfilled. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be. For in that determined assumption, you and your infinite being are merged in creative unity. That's the co-creation part. And with your infinite being, God, all things are possible. God never fails. For who can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou? Through the mastery of your assumptions, you are in the very truth enabled to master your life. It is thus that the actual ladder of life is ascended. Thus, the ideal is realized. The clue to the real purpose of life is to surrender yourself to your ideal with such awareness of its reality that you begin to live the life of the ideal and no longer your own life as it was prior to this surrender. Neville has taught us in these previous chapters, the only way is the effortless way to sit back, to yield, to be a subordinate, bow down, obey. We don't like to do that because we like control. The part of our mind that's survival focused, right? Remember, this is the brain. This is the thinking mind. But underneath here is our lizard brain. And if we keep giving that, pumping the power, it's going to be really strong. And this part won't be strong. So they call, when you flip the lid, when kids get upset, or even adults, their lid gets flipped. Their ability to think, to problem solve, and to just calm themselves, soothing, problem solve is gone. It flew away. And this lizard brain, this woman described it in such a cool way. So when we talk to kids or even adults, I think it's ridiculous. It applies to everything. So those two parts of the brain, it's the fight or flight. The barking dog, when there's fear, we go crazy. The barking dog. Then this is the wise owl. So we have those two parts. But when the barking dog under here gets triggered, the wise owl flies away. And so the barking dog is in control. The only way for the wise owl to be able to fly back is to calm the barking dog. That's basic soothing. Tapping, If you have any questions, always ask me. When we're anxious, tapping, grounding, breathing, taking a break. So whenever you see a kid that is just blew the lid, literally blew the top, you cannot get mad at the kid. You can't say, what are you doing? Calm down, calm down. It's not going to work because that wise owl, the part that thinks, is gone. You cannot logic with somebody who blew their top. I'm sure if you've been in arguments or disagreements or fights with people, verbal fights, you say things that you would never say because wise owl flew away. It's the barking dog. Survival mode, biting, protecting. What a nice little lesson in our fight or flight. Okay, that was a side tangent. So it says the clue to the real purpose of life is to surrender yourself. Yes, surrender yourself. Oh, that's where I got into the control. We have to be able to be a victim to what we want, not to what we don't want. Isn't that funny how we can very easily surrender and become a victim and be totally submersed, full immersion into what we don't want. All of the thoughts, fears, insecurities, what we don't want to happen. But why are we afraid to completely surrender and be a victim to what we do want? Because that darkness, that evil, that protection that we have, that barking dog, the primitive lizard brain, is only here for survival. That's our animalistic part of us. But we have to understand that as the apex creature, we have that wise owl, those intellectual factors. Intuition, memory, imagination, reason, the will. Memory, did I ever say that? I think I'm missing one. Anyways, those are our higher faculties that only we have as human beings. We have got to work from that area. Anyway, surrender to what we want. He calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and the unseen becomes seen. Each assumption has its corresponding world. If you are truly observant, you will notice the power of your assumptions to change circumstances which appear wholly immutable. You, by your conscious assumptions, meaning you are very aware of what you're getting emotionally involved with. Keeping only in the queue, in the printer queue, what you want to be printed. You, by your conscious assumptions, determine the nature of the world in which you live. This determines the nature and world of which we live because this determines our results. Whatever's in here will be here. As within, so without. As above, so below. You, by your conscious assumptions, determine the nature of the world in which you live. Ignore the present state and assume the wish fulfilled. Assume the wish fulfilled. Ignore. Remember, see, hear, smell, taste, touch. This is just our physical bodies, 5 senses, the animal part of us, the survival. Ignore this. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, close your ears, close off your 5 senses. Go inside to those higher faculties. Stay here, dwell here. First, living from the inside out. Stay here first, then open your eyes and look around. Because whatever's in here is what you'll see. You can't just look out here and be like, then you'll keep getting that. Ignore the present state and assume the wish fulfilled. Claim it. It will respond. The law of assumption is the means by which the fulfillment of your desires may be realized. Every moment of your life, consciously or unconsciously, you are assuming and feeling. Every moment of your life, whether you're aware of it or not, conscious or unconscious, you are assuming a feeling. That's not rocket science. Obviously, we're feeling all the time. But they're not just happening to us. We're in control of that. Like I said the other day, we can't always control the thoughts, those intrusive, obsessive, compulsive thoughts that come in. Maybe past fears of other people. We can't control that. But, right? Because we're always receiving information from our senses that go in here. But catch it here. We can kick it out, kick it out, kick it out. But if for whatever reason it goes down here, we start feeling, because it's when by the time that's in our heart, it gets under our skin. That dictates our emotions. What are we feeling? Is it something we want to be feeling? If it's already in here and we're like, oh, hell no, I don't want this to show up out here in whatever form. Witness it, observe it, let it pass. Don't grab onto it. Let it pass. Literally breathe through it. I've said an example before. One time I was triggered. I was like, does this stuff really work? I went out to the garage. I was at like a family gathering and I was triggered and I was like, I had to stand there for 10 minutes till it passed. It didn't matter what it was about. I was triggered. Wise owl flew away. Barking dog, going crazy. Did I stay in the house and start yelling and barking and attituding? No. I removed myself from the situation, breathed till the wise owl came back. And this thing calmed down. We can do that. We have the power to do that. So every moment of your life, consciously or unconsciously, you are assuming a feeling. How are you feeling? Feeling is just the conscious awareness of the vibration you're in. The way you feel, if you were like, oh, wow, I feel like crap, or man, my stomach's churning, I'm anxious about something. Tune in to your body, be in tune. It's usually when we get out of tune, out of whack, we're so busy, we're just flying without even putting our seatbelt on. Shh. Even go into the restroom. I don't care if you're at work, close the door and just stand still, be still. And say, how am I feeling? What am I feeling? Do I like it or not? If I do like it, great. If I don't like it, what is this about? And get quiet. Shut that mind off, shut that wheels from spinning and just focus on your emotions. And if you focus on, this feels dark, this feels dense, this feels anxious, focus on the feeling and then the answers will come. You can no more avoid assuming a feeling than you can avoid eating or drinking. Just like your heart beats, your blood is pumping all the time, you're assuming all the time. All you can do is control the nature of your assumptions. All you can do is control what you let into your garden. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Is this a beautiful flower garden? When you go down there, it smells like heaven. Or is it full of weeds and desolate and dark and dusty and smelly? We can't really hide it from anybody. Even if you are polished up and shaved and shined up, people can feel your vibe. We can't hide anything anymore. This is an energetic era. We're in the age of transparency. All of those senses, those higher faculties, we've been really talking about them more. They're more acceptable. They've been awakened. We can't go to sleep to them anymore. We found out there's no more Santa Claus, in a sense, metaphorically. And we can't pretend like there is one again. Once you realize the truth and your eyes have been opened and the light switch is turned off, you can't go dark again. It's like you can't unsee something, right? No matter how much you want to. So you can no more, every moment of your life, consciously or unconsciously, you are assuming a feeling. You can no more avoid assuming a feeling than you can avoid eating and drinking. All you can do is to control the nature of your assumptions. Thus, it is clearly seen that the control of your assumption is the key you now hold to an ever-expanding, happier, more noble life. All things are possible. With God, I had another one of these. There was another. Well, I guess it's the same thing. Anyways, the Lord or God or the imagination, the Lord, any of our assumptions. With God, all things are possible, but we must be emotionally involved. Anything you want. All things are possible. That's what is meant by that. Truly. All things are possible not just good, but bad too. And we've seen people do a lot of very damaging, nasty things. The power, the energy, it's impersonal. Remember my beautiful book, The Impersonal Life? Pick it up and read a copy. So good. The Impersonal Life. That's why when you see atrocities, the Hitlers of the world, you say, how did God let that happen? How did God let that happen? Because that's what Hitler had in his heart. He was emotionally involved with it. He had a vision. Guess what happened? God is impersonal. The power that be. God is just law. Like gravity. Gravity doesn't care if you're a nice person and you jump off a building. She's nice. Let's let her fly this time. No. He's a butthole. Let him smack on the ground. No. That's how God is. God is law. Law. Doesn't matter what you plant in the garden. It will grow. Poison or medicine. It will grow. So the things you see is the power of God working through us, but how we express that is all us, baby. So when you see bad things, how did God let that happen? God didn't let that happen. You let it happen. The person made it happen. But we need to use this to imagine the world we want to create and light other people's candles with good and positive. I hope that made sense. That was a lot of big stuff. But that's where Carla's at on Friday, July 30th. So don't quote me. I can change my mind tomorrow. Thank you so much. That's the beautiful thing about waking up new every day. I am always constantly growing and changing. Like I said, I make no conclusions. That's where I'm at today. And I like it. So if that helped you in any way, it makes me happy. Inside Talk Show, it's an inside job. I hope you enjoyed that. All things are possible. Anything is possible. Anything you get emotionally involved in, hold it with the power of your will, repeat it over and over and over. It will come to pass. Just like if you saw my goal cards, this is my goal, private to my heart, but I have my goal card right in front of me. If you want a goal card, call me, let me know. I'll mail it to you. I just got a fresh batch, fresh goal cards. Let me know if you want one. Have a wonderful day. See you on Monday.